Hey, what's with you all of a sudden? You just threw change at me out of nowhere, and then you shut me out of a ceremony hall. Why would you do such a thing, Peyton?
Huh? Didn't I drive you out of there because you snuck out the ceremony hall? What's wrong with doing that? I don't remember ever inviting anyone like you. We haven't talked to each other since you dropped out back in the middle school. And yet, there you were in the hall. Where did you catch wind of today's wedding ceremony?
Hey, hold on a second. I was definitely invited to today's wedding ceremony. I was able to enter the hall because I received an invitation signed by the two of you. I even showed the invitation card to the wedding receptionist.
What? There's no way that's true. Did you seriously make up a fake invite just so you could sneak in? I gave some invites to our other classmates, but I wouldn't invite someone like you who comes from a poor single mother household. But I guess you must have just enough money to be able to hire someone to do a decent job foraging one. You're so persistent that it's seriously starting to get on my nerves. I bet that you thought you could easily sneak in if you mix yourself and the other classmates from middle school. And then you thought you could eat food or something at my ceremony for free.
That's not true. There's no way I would do something like that. I really was invited to the wedding today.
Or did you think this would be a good opportunity for you to reconcile things between us if I was in a good mood? Pathetic. I wonder if you just stopped by to apologize to us. You could say, I'm so sorry for hiding the fact that I came from a poor single mother household back in middle school. Not that I would have listened to you anyway.
Just cut it out already. You haven't changed a bit since middle school. You're so dead set on saying that I'm poor, all because my mom was a single mom. I thought your sense of worth would have changed after you had grown up, but it seems like you haven't grown up at all.
The only thing that you eat every day is super cheap frozen food or canned soup from food drives. And you're so poor that you can't buy new clothes when your clothes get all battered up. So, get the hell out of here and just go back home already. Or rather, I'll blast you with some change so you can pick it up the miserable lowlife that you are and then you can go back home. We don't need a fatherless bottom feeder at our beautiful, classy wedding. The lowlives of society need to stay in the sewers where they belong.
Are you really sure I should go back?
Of course. I'm sure you dumped idiot. Just get the hell of my sight already. Your very presence here is enough to soil our wedding. Don't ever show your face in front of me ever again. Or I'll call the security guards to kick you out.
Hey, hold on a second, Ella. I heard you left the wedding hall to go home. Why are you going back home when the ceremony is just about to start now? Did something urgent come up at work and cause you to leave early?
No, that's not the case. It's just that I didn't feel like being around at the ceremony. So I decided to leave early.
What do you mean you didn't feel like being around? Today is your little brother's wedding. It's a really special day for him. And I know he would want you to be there with him.
The truth is, and I'll only tell you about it, but I had a reunion with a classmate from middle school at the wedding ceremony just now. She was causing me some distress, so I wanted to leave early.
Are you perhaps referring to that one classmate you had problems with? The one from middle school that drove you to drop out? I had no idea someone like her would be here today.
That's right. I never thought I would meet them again here of all places.
I didn't think she would be working here at the ceremony hall.
That's not the case, Mom. It's not that she is working at the ceremony. It just so happens that the one who drove me to drop out of school is actually the bride.
Huh? What did you just say?
I just couldn't bring myself to go to school anymore because of her constantly tormenting me for having a single mother as a mom. Even my best friend at the time started getting brainwashed by her band of mean girls and started calling me poor and making fun of you. She told me one day, "It's so rude of you to hide your poverty from me and still try to act like we're friends." At that point, she got the kids from the group that I used to hang out with to drop me entirely. They all started ignoring me, and I started feeling like I was going to throw up all of the time. I feel like I could hear them saying things about me even when they weren't.
You're saying that Jasper's fiancée was among that group? How is that possible?
Yeah, she was the leader of the group. Like the queen bee, you know?
Is that true?
Our families were so busy at work that we couldn't meet face to face. But I had no idea that the bride was Peyton of all people. I don't really want to deal with her or cause any more trouble at the wedding. So with that, I'm going back home today. I don't want to hang out with Peyton and her friends. But if she's getting married to Jasper, then it can't be helped. From now, I'm going to think about how I'm going to get along with her. You know, when I get back home.
No way. I can't believe it. I thought Jasper would also be happy to be able to marry such a nice girl like her. I thought she would be the one to make him happy.
Please don't say anything to Jasper. It's not like I want to be opposed to their marriage or anything. I just want him to be happy. Well then, I'll see you later.
Wow, today's wedding ceremony was seriously the best thing ever. The food was delicious and the hall decorations were nothing short of perfection. Even all of our classmates brought me plenty of entertainment. It was definitely better that I brought regular people here instead of poor people like you.
Why the heck are you still talking to me? If you hate me that much for being poor, then don't contact me.
Yep, I hate poor people from the bottom of my heart. But I suddenly have some free time now since the wedding ceremony is over. I don't really have anything else to do and I'm bored. So I thought it would be nice to kill some time talking to you. It's the only purpose that poor people like you can serve. Cheap entertainment.
Huh? What do you mean?
Even though I have time to spend with him since the ceremony went by without a problem. My darling husband has been going back and forth to the phone and he hasn't come back. No matter how busy his job is, he shouldn't have to deal with it today of all days.
That's right. It's quite troublesome having to deal with the phone on the day of the wedding.
Well, even then, my super competent husband is working at a foreign company, so it can't really be helped. He is able to make about $1.5 million a year. He has enough on his plate only making a portion of that income on his job. I'm so happy to have such a reliable husband like him.
Oh? Is that so?
I wonder just how many more times it is compared to your annual income. A poor person like you, on the other hand, probably makes it most about under $200,000 in terms of annual income. I bet you can barely make ends meet. Huh, so sad. And you probably live in some old apartment with barely any furniture or lighting. He's so wonderful that he can make as much in a year as you do in 7 years.
Hold on a second, Peyton. You can't just pretend to know how much I make in a year.
But I'm not exactly wrong, am I? A pauper like you with a food stamp collecting single mom probably can't get a good job to begin with.
Huh? How can you say that? You can only make that much money because of your husband.
Speaking of which, have you been thinking about getting married anytime soon? Nah, there's no way that would happen. After all, there's no man in this world who would want to marry a poor woman like you. You're really pitiful in so many ways. It's so tragic, it's funny, you know? You were born into a single mother household and you spend your life in poverty.
I never once regretted the fact that I was born a daughter to a single mother. While mom was busy at work, she would make me lunch every day. I always enjoyed the lunch that she would put so much love and care into.
You've got to be joking. You actually love that grocery store food that you call a lunch? That's so hilarious.
The reason she wouldn't buy me new clothes is because I didn't want her to. After all, why should I rebuy clothes when you guys were the ones who battered them up? You would just batter them up the next day as well. It would just be causing a never-ending burden for my mom. And that's not something I would ever want to wish on her.
It's hilarious how you immediately lash out at me. No man will come to you with a personality like that.
That's none of your business. Honestly, you should be more worried about yourself being driven out by your own husband. Considering how you treat other people, I don't know how you can maintain any relationship. It's shameful behavior as a human being for someone to make fun of a person's upbringing.
You sure are saying some rich things for a poor person. Oh my god, I'm hilarious. I'm the winner here in life like I nabbed a super rich husband. But for someone like you who was raised in a poor single mother household, eek. It's pretty much unavoidable that you can only live as a poor person for the rest of your life. It's only fitting for someone like you to have to live your life eating nothing but dirt.
What did you just say?
Now that I'm tired of our little chat, it seems that even small talk is too much work for you. It seems like not even a poor person is useful when it comes to killing time, so I'm going to get out of here now. You and I live in different worlds, so don't show your face in front of me ever again.
Then I guess it would be fine for me, as her parent, to also go away.
Huh?
Well then, Peyton, from here on out, I'll refrain from being around you. I have no problem whatsoever being estranged from my daughter-in-law. In fact, it's actually fine now I think about it.
Daughter-in-law? Huh? What the hell is going on? Who is this?
We were just with each other a moment ago, back at the wedding ceremony, Peyton. I'm Sabrina, the mother of Ella, as well as the mother of your husband, Jasper.
Huh? Sabrina, is that you?
Yes, that is what I just said. My daughter Ella. She just told me it's not like I'm opposed to the wedding. I'm just going to keep my distance. The poor thing. I'm going to respect your decision regarding this matter, so I thought I would also take your feelings into account as well. After all, there's no reason for you to say something that horrible to us, right? And if you don't want to be with us that much, then we won't talk to you at all.
What's going on?
So you think someone from a single-parent household is a poor person? And that it's only fitting for them to live a life eating nothing but dirt? How dare you say something like that? Do you have any idea what it takes to go through a divorce and raise 2 children on your own? No, you don't.
Hey, hold on. Let's pause for a second. What the hell is going on? You're Ella's mother? How is this possible?
What's not possible? Ella and I are both clearly mother and daughter. She looks exactly like me when I was her age. I don't know what is so hard for you to understand.
But Ella is from a single mother household, right? We've been together since elementary school, but I've never heard anything about a little brother. Besides, Sabrina, don't you have a husband? I've met him so many times. None of this makes sense.
I remarried. It's as simple as that. I got divorced and was raising my daughter as a single mom when I met my true soulmate. I remarried around the time when Ella went to high school, and I took care of my stepson, Jasper, with my husband. In addition, he and Ella were very close to each other.
Huh? Is that true? But then, that means...
It means my son and I aren't related by blood, though I'm sure I already explained that fact to you. We talked about it when you first came to my house.
What? Are you sure? I had no idea.
Well, it looks like you were able to feign ignorance at that time, to the best of your ability. It would have seemed keeping that facade on must have been tense for you. So you probably didn't catch what we were saying at the time.
I don't remember hearing anything like that at all. Although, I suppose when you tell me, it sounds like something that you probably would have said.
I will say this beforehand, but I don't plan on meddling with my son's wedding. If it's someone who my son thinks he wants to marry, I will accept any person, no matter their personality or gender.
So you're saying that you would be willing to forgive me? I'm so relieved. That would take a huge weight off of my shoulders.
However, that is a different matter altogether, whether or not we can get along with each other. From this point onward, I will start taking appropriate steps to distance myself from you.
Huh?
Let's make sure we interact with each other as little as possible. I don't want you to get involved with Ella or I anymore after this. Same goes regarding any family events or holidays too. Luckily, you don't have to receive any presents from poor people on Christmas.
Hey, please, wait a second. Isn't that also pretty bad for me in the end? Won't that cause some suspicion to me from Jasper? If he finds out about this, I don't know how he would take it.
If that's the case, then you don't have to worry about that either. I already told Jasper about everything that has happened.
What? You didn't?
I just talked with him over the phone before. I explained the whole situation to him. So you can take it up with him regarding these matters after this.
No, this is not happening. Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. You told my husband everything that happened? Wait, so what did he say? Please tell me this is all a big mistake. What can I possibly say to him now? What should I do?
Whatever he has to say to you is none of my business. After all, you two are husband and wife, so this will be a private matter for you. With that, you have to excuse me. I will be taking my leave now. I can't really do anything regarding what you hate or how you value something. So let's do our best to keep our distance and stay out of each other's hair.
What have you done to me? Because of you guys, my husband told me he needs some time to think before handing the marriage certificate. Now, my future with him is in jeopardy.
Huh? Jasper said that? He hasn't told me anything.
He told me he thought it was vile what I did to his sister all those years ago. That Ella was miserable and anyone who could do that to someone was a horrible human being. And making fun of single moms. He told me who the hell was I to judge someone. I don't know what happened. I have no right to judge. Not to mention he was raised by a single father. I'm so stupid. He told me he doesn't think he loves me anymore. That he can't look at me the same way since knowing all this.
Speaking of which, he seems to have had some troublesome memories pop back up as well. He was teased for having a single father for a dad. He had to live with relatives because of Dad's job.
He won't listen to anything that I have to say. He just called me a liar when I said I wasn't making fun of him being from a single father household at all. And then he told me he can trust me ever again.
Well, that's what happens.
Even though he had a wedding ceremony, the next day he said it wouldn't be possible for me to be put in the family registry. Hey, I'm begging you, Ella. Come over here right away. I need your help. You need to somehow persuade your younger brother to change his mind.
Persuade? So that he can somehow marry you?
I'm obviously talking about that. He'll only listen to his precious sister. I won't allow us to get separated by any means possible. Our relationship falling apart, even though we just had a wedding ceremony, would make me a laughingstock for the rest of my life. So please, come here right now and cover for me.
It's not as easy as you make it seem to be. My brother has quite the stubborn personality, you know. Oh, that schoolyard heckling made him tough. So even if I said something, it would likely do little to change the situation.
That's right. I've seen how he is when he sets his mind on something. It's difficult to get him to change his mind. That's why you and I are going to make up for Jasper's sake.
Huh?
I mean, it was only during middle school when we weren't getting along, so, you know. You can say that actually, we already made up a long time ago and now, We're super besties. That's why he should hear it from your mouth. After we make up, I'll say that I will never make fun of you again for anything ever. Especially anything to do with your background.
No way. I would never lie to my beloved little brother like that. Besides, even if you do that, my mom will retaliate on my behalf. There isn't really any point in me lying to try to persuade him. The only thing you can do is try to persuade him all by yourself.
That's impossible. Don't you know that he's already started packing up to move to a new home? He's dead set on breaking up with me and leaving the house. How can I possibly persuade him in a situation like this?
How should I know?
I'm relying on you for this, so listen to what I have to say. If you don't, I'll make you drop out again.
What?
Someone like you comes from a poor single mother household. No matter what, you'll be working for a small and poor company, right? So I'll let it slip in your workplace that you were raised by a single mother. I will say that you are a former shut-in that's not fit to work in society.
Are you seriously trying to threaten me with that?
What? I'm being serious. I'll figure out where you work and spill the beans on everything that happened in your life. If I do that, then you will definitely relapse back into a shut-in just like back in middle school. Huh. Or rather, you will be in a shut-in deadbeat, which would be even worse than before. If you don't want that to happen, then you better listen to what I have to say.
Go ahead and do whatever you want to. I wouldn't close my shop even if you tell all my customers about my family history. It's not even a secret. Thanks to being self-employed, that in and of itself has steeled my mental state as well. None of your harassment will have any effect on me anymore.
You're self-employed? You are the head of the company all by yourself despite being a poor person? No way.
It's more of a restaurant rather than a company. I own and operate a restaurant.
That's so hilarious. For someone like you who ate frozen lunches every day to be running a restaurant now? There's no way a charity case like you could hire a chef for a restaurant. I'll bet that everything on the menu is all just frozen food from the supermarket. It probably tastes bland as hell.
Go ahead and make fun of me. I have a 5-star rating for my restaurant. Thanks to that, I have a constant flow of customers coming in and several weeks' worth of reservations. Having a job that I like allows me to live well and free of stress. I can afford a nice place to live at, I can eat good food, and I have money left over to entertain myself as well. Now I live happily every day.
Are you kidding me? A bottom feeder like you has a 5-star rating?
Was all that food at the wedding ceremony yesterday delicious?
What are you going on all about all of a sudden? It was my wedding, of course, if all the food at the wedding ceremony was delicious. Was it to you?
I was the one who made all of that. I'm glad that a person of such low economic standing was able to make cooking that was suited to your tastes.
What did you just say?
My staff brought the ingredients the day before so we could prepare on the day of the wedding. But it looks like there was no need for me to get so hyped up with the cooking after all. It would have been just fine for me to bring out the frozen food that you recommended.
Wait a minute. Are you kidding me? You were doing that at my wedding? But you were the one who brought out all the food at the wedding? Me, my parents, my friends, and everyone else thought the food was delicious.
I went to great pains preparing all of that food for the wedding ceremony. But I didn't think the wedding itself would be such a disaster. But I'm sure you're really glad now that you don't have to have a poor person be your sister-in-law. Well then, congratulations on the wedding getting aborted. I have some ingredients to prepare for my restaurant, so I'll take my leave now. After that, Peyton and my younger brother Jasper finally wiped the slate clean regarding any talks of marriage. I heard that Peyton begged until the end, screaming, "Please marry me! I apologize for everything that happened in the past!" Jasper was ice cold, telling her he doesn't want anything to do with a monster like her. The way he looked at her spoke volumes. and she knew she had lost all hope of being with him ever again. Since that day, Jasper has cut all ties with her and refuses to respond to any messages or letters. He seemed pretty depressed for a while. Thankfully, he started dating another woman who has been treating him better and is someone that is able to get along with our entire family. Around that time, my classmates started to come to my restaurant to apologize to me for what they had done in middle school. They all blamed Peyton as the ringleader and told me they ignored me because they were scared of her. Most would follow this with a friendly smile and "we were so young then" speech, then would ask for a friend's discount at the restaurant. I would simply cut them off and tell them we were never friends, and gesture to leave, and at the door, inform them that I will never be serving them food. I'm proud of who I've become, and I wouldn't change my upbringing even if I could. But I do get a little bit of satisfaction in rejecting those toxic classmates at my door. What can I say? Sometimes petty revenge is exactly the right medicine for the soul. I hear that many of the classmates that came to my restaurant ended up having their own issues regarding marriage as well. I heard one of them call it Ella's curse. Guilty conscience, maybe? Meanwhile, my restaurant has been steadily becoming more and more popular, as customers have been spreading a lot of good word of mouth for my business. In addition, my business has become so successful that I was able to expand around the country. Over the years, my standard of living has steadily improved, and no one would ever call me poor again. But I will always remember my humble upbringing and my amazing mother, who did everything she could to raise me.